Hi, ADmodz here. Been asked by many people now to film a build, or put a build together. So I don't usually let people here into my little room, and I just thought I'd invite you all in and you see where I do what I do. Today we're going to do a build with the NZXT H440. Great case, nice lines, well built, nice matte black finish. Few gripes with it, but nothing a bit of cover up here and there can sort out. So to install in the case, we're going to use a MSI Z170A gaming M7 motherboard. Great board, and we're going to put a Intel i7 6700K. Another great chip. We're going to use an M.2 SSD and some additional storage, which is the Kingston HyperX Savage 240 gig. Fantastic, great performance, love using them. Good looking SSDs as well. And a mechanical 2 terabyte SATA 3 hard drive. We're going to use 32 gig of Corsair RAM, 2666 speed. We're going to change all the standard NZXT fans to Corsair AF120s. And GPU wise, we're going to use the Asus Strix 1070. This machine is aimed at gaming and VR sort of world. For cooling for the CPU, we're going to use a product I haven't used before. Good reviews online on Amazon from them. It's the Deepcool Captain 240 EX. Comes with a nice little fan header and control all your fans from there and the software. And yeah, we give it a go. Never used one before, we'll see how it performs. Cable wise, we're going to use some custom cables from shackmods.com. Perfection as always, great service, great product, highly recommended. For some case lighting, we're using some LEDs from Marcus Organs of Add-on Customs. Makes them 20 length, makes all my LEDs for me, and they work perfect and good quality. Great service from Marcus as well. Power wise, for the rig, we're going to use the Corsair RM850 modular PSU. Great PSU. I've had a custom part made by Cold Zero, which is the GPU support bracket. The GTX 1070 is a little bit of a back end heavy card, so we're going to keep it nice and level and looking good with that. And I made a little M.2 cover with a logo on there, and just hide the M.2 drive because they're ugly as sin, they are. So but that's it. We will take all the panels off. I have additional camera above me so you can see me installing components into the machine, just to show you a few little tricks here and there that I do and just the way I build a machine. And I expect it's the same as everybody else, but we'll give it a go. It's my first time doing this, but let's see how it goes and we'll go from there. So you'll see me next. I'll switch over to the other camera and we'll get assembling. Welcome back, everyone. Go take the case panels off and put them to one side so they don't get damaged. Put them back in the box so they stay nice and clean. I'm going to do now, I'm going to take all the fans out, get rid of all this excess cable all over the place because it just gets in the way. But get rid of these fans now. I've put the CPU into the ZIF socket of the motherboard, and I've installed the M.2 SSD just so it saves a bit of time, otherwise it just drag the video out on for hours and hours and hours it will. So just take these fans out, get them out of the way. We can start putting stuff in there. But these NZXT fans are pretty good, but they just don't have any LED lighting on them or visually to look at. They're not great looking fans, but as to air volume and operation, you know, they're pretty good for a standard fan. Not my choice for this build, sorry. I do apologise as well if I go a bit quiet sometimes, or my daughter comes rushing in to say hi, as she always does. Likes to come and see what I'm doing, and likes to get involved if she can, but just pull these out of there. I won't be using these fans again, I won't, so surplus to requirements. I've got loads of excess fans everywhere from previous builds, previous cases, and I just don't use them. That's it, they're out the way. Just spin it round and take the rear exhaust fan out. NZXT use a little controller on the back of the motherboard tray which you can plug all your fans into and control LED lighting from there. We've got a little LED just above the rear I/O shield here, which is nice little touch. The Z170 does have LED on the back I/O as well, so we'll see. It might be a bit bright, it might not, but we will have a go and see what happens when we plug all the LEDs in. So that's all the case fans out the way now. Gets rid of all those excess cables that are going to be in my way. One thing I do is I use a 7mm nut spinner, which I double check all the standoffs, make sure they're all tight and they're in the right place and they're all set up ready for me to go. So that's one thing I always check before I put the motherboard in, just to make sure they're grounded right and they're nice and tight, and any that are in the way that are not needed I remove and just get rid of them. So got the rear I/O shield here, nicely done, nice MSI logo on there, and we get that popped in the case. There she goes. There we go. All fitted in there. Job done. Motherboard. All nice and red. Nice detailing on there. I say I've got the chip in there. Just got to give it some clean with some alcohol. Take this rear gaming shield off here, so we can get the standoffs tightened up on there, and we'll reattach that back after. There's the M2. As you say, you know, do not remove this label, warranty void. Oh well, warranty is going to be void then, isn't it? So that's it. Made a little cover for there. That's around here somewhere. There it is. What I do, I use some 3M tape and I'll double side that on. So it looks like that. So it just gives it a little bit more of a modded look and not looking at that horrible green thing. So hi, welcome back. Just prepping the board now for the mounting bracket for the Deepcool Captain. They all come labelled up in their own little bags, Intel or AMD. The bracket that goes on the back is all universal, so it doesn't matter which way up, it doesn't. The inside holes are for all Intel, the outside holes are for AMD. So we just pop that through. As you see, I'm building off a mat, which I always build off. Just helps protect the components and stops them getting damaged, really. I've hacked it about a bit around by the network port there, which is all to do with my server, and thread these little standoffs on. One side is metal, one side's got like a nylon cover, so nylon cover against the board, metal sticking up, and just tighten it up corner to corner, make sure it's nice and secure on there. That's the mounting bracket got on there. For the Intel, they got two metal strips, which what the cooler actually attaches to. Just a bit of a tight fit. There we go. Push them all the way down so they're seated on the standoffs. Same with this side. That's ready now to mount the cooler on top. Sorry if I'm sniffling a little bit as well. Hay fever's a bit rife today, so that's the mounting bracket done on there. So one thing I said we were going to do was remove his. That shows up all there. Move the nut out of the way. We've removed the stock paste off the CPU block, and we've gave the CPU a wipe over. Just installing now the Corsair SP120 fans instead of using the stock. The stock ones look pretty good, but some of the reviews I read online, they were a bit noisy, so I like using the Corsair fans and the Thermaltake fans. I just get these buttoned down. It's not very exciting watching somebody do screws up, is it? But one of those jobs. We mount this in the case before we put the motherboard in, so we know that's in there and out the way, and we can tuck the pipes out the way. Nice braided pipes, by the way. They're same as the Corsair H100i V2s, and it looks a pretty robust little unit. Instruction manual is pretty self-explanatory. Yes, I do read them. Not all of them, but I read some of them. So I do like the little glass pipe. Yes, it is glass as well. It shows the red fluid inside, or it's a stained glass with clear fluid inside, and just shows it off. You even get a nice little Deepcool Captain sticker. You do. Doubt if I'll use it, but I'll give it a go. So, right, we're gonna mount this up now into the top of the case. We can either have the pipes go into the back of the case or to the front near the hard drive cages. I did have a fiddle around with it, see which way it wanted to lie and which way it looked better, and so I'm going to install it with the pipes going to the front of the case. Another bit of the video that's watching somebody put screws into something. They've got to go in. Got two in by a couple of threads. They'll hold there fine, so I get everything else lined up. It's one thing about the H440 case, quite a bit of room inside. There is some nice modded ones out there where they've removed the front hard drive cages completely and put all custom loops in there, and they look pretty smart, they do. Might be something I might do in the future. It'd be good to see what temps this holds the 6700K at, and see what sort of room we've got for overclocking as well. So hopefully that'll be it. So I've got the cooler installed. I'll tuck the fan cables down. So we're going to want the nice red tube to be on display. We can move these pipes around, so if we wanted it on top there, or you can have the tube on the bottom like that. That's how I'm going to do it, like that. Keeps the cables nice flowing well, and it'll attach down. So you go on there like that. So, right, we'll tuck her over the back out of the way. Making sure everything's lining up well as it should be, which it does, no problem at all. Okay, as I say, we've got all the board mounted now. AIO is all tightened in, fans are on, cables are pushed through from to the back. Apply some thermal paste now. I've ran out of thermal grizzly, so I'm going to use another paste I trust really well, which is ceramic 2. And a very good paste I've used lots of in the past. There we go. The CPU block has got a slider bracket which you can move about to line it up with the screw holes that are in the side brackets. They just tighten down. There is a stopper on them, so you only tighten them down to the stopper. They won't go any further, they won't. That's it. So coolers on there, nice and sturdy. Pipes, sort them out. Memory's installed. And that's it. On to the next stage. Now we've got all the motherboard and CPU cooler all mounted, we will get the front fans and a bit of the cabling tidied up out of the way. Got the fans in place, so we're just gonna get them mounted now. watching do screws up, nothing exciting. And these new Corsair fans, the AF120s, these are the new Quiet Edition. They haven't got the big fan blades on like the old ones, or like the stock ones that come with their AIO coolers. They push a lot more volume of air through and run a lot quieter as well. So and they've got nice LEDs. One of those jobs that if you want to change over stock fans over to the newer type, better cooling, LED, whatever, you know, something that has to be done. So got to try and get my big hands up into little gaps. This is the time you need fingers like E.T. Nearly there, last screw for the fans, that is. There we go, it's the front case fans fitted and all good. We will pop the one in the rear. See what I'm doing. It's only screwing a fan in, it's nothing exciting. These NZXTs can take 120 fans and 140s. I'm using the 120s. It's good mounting holes for the screws as well. They can slide the fan up and down to wherever you want it. If you had a big chunky radiator in the top and you had to put the fan a bit lower down, then just don't tighten the screws up all the way and just slide the fan on down. I'll put it about halfway. Try to keep things a bit equal looking. Nearly there. A couple of screws to do it. That's it. That's all the case fans fitted. Looking pretty smart. Looking all together. We've got the SSD installed in the sled on the front. So we just get a mechanical drive in. 2 TB storage. The NZXTs come with a rubber mounting strip inside every hard drive cage, which helps take the vibration noise away. So just line up the screw holes. I expect when I look back at this video, so all you're going to see is just me tightening screws up and putting screws in, and sometimes talking, sometimes not talking. But something I can learn on for future. I plan on doing more videos of up and coming builds I've got planned and that are in the pipeline. That's the mechanical drive fitted. Starting to resemble a PC a little bit more now, so now we have the drives in and everything else on there. We just make a little bit of room, just tidy up a little bit, and we will put this in. Nice looking card, Dave. Asus have really done well on this one. Looks like there's a box of goodies in there. Don't worry, it's just empty boxes I'm chucking on the floor, nothing's inside there. There you can see, triple fan, RGB, nice looking back plate on there. I'm going to have to remove one or two of the hard drive sleds due to the length of the card, because it will protrude into the hard drive cage area a bit, so we will just give it a test fit into there. Yep, I can see which cage has got to come out now. There we go. That will give us enough room now to put the card in. Lock and load, she's in. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. I think my 3-year-old is being told off. Got to tidy her toys up. I'm surprised she hasn't ran in yet and come to see me, so, but she does know I'm doing this, so. There's the graphics card installed. Nice looking card, only a single 8-pin, so not requiring a large amount of cables to come on up. But there we are. Starting to look a bit more tidier. I'll get the cable management sorted out and go from there. So, as I mentioned about the GPU bracket, the 1070 is quite heavy here on the back end and it's drooping down now, so we put the bracket in and we just raise the card up to keep it nice and level, and it's a bit of bling as well with the GPU support bracket. We've got a nice logo imprinted on there, so we go from there and we'll get that going. Alright, we'll tidy up a few of these cables now. Deepcool Captain is going to connect to a fan control header on the back there, which is this black cable coming up over the shroud, and the PWM cable will go onto the CPU fan header there. So if we turn this over now, look at that mess of cable now. Day of my life. Okay, so we've got the top header here, white plug by my finger. That goes to the CPU header on the board. The Deepcool Captain pump goes to the PWM on the top of this fan controller that comes built into the case. We have enough room then for another 7 fans to connect. You've got one there with the power source, the other one then comes up to the top here to the LED for the rear I/O shield and the front switch, and the LED on the front NZXT plate, or side NZXT plate, sorry. So cables. As I said earlier, the Deepcool Captain does come with its own fan control for the pump and for its fans. It is an optional, you don't have to use it. That's all I say, it's just it's extra cables around in my view, but it doesn't have to be used. So here is the rear fan. We'll put some here at the top, and our front fans, I will use some fan extensions, and bring them under the drive all neat and tidy. We will come out through the bottom here and keep them all tacked on so they're all neat, all tidy. I hate cables, I'm OCD with it, but we will get them all tidied up and all sorted. Next job to do after tidying the cables up is get the PSU in and get things all connected up, and then we can fit these nice braided cables and a bit of LED lighting, and it's nearly time then for a fire up. So we're not far away from see if we got a post. We got a post outside the case, we'll see if we get a post inside the case. So we will get this cable management tidied up and go from there. All tidied up, all neat and tidy, going into the fan headers, all sides. Just done the front fans, and we'll just get these all neat and tidy now. I do go through a lot of cable ties. I'm quite OCD on my cables. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but one thing I will say about this case is the amount of cable tie point locations where you can zip things together and keep it neat and tidy. You know, I think a lot of case manufacturers need to have a look at this and look at the way NZXT do it. You haven't got to worry about that there. That will be fine. It can tuck behind the power and the SATA cable anyway. It's not going to harm anything. All of our cables are neatly hidden down this tube, which is a bit of a box frame in the case, and bit of cable sliding time down into there and get them all neatly tucked away. So now we've got that all buttoned up, let's get the power supply in and on to the next step after that. Now it's time to put the power supply in, the RM850. The NZXT case has a mounting plate which helps put the PSU in all nicely. PSU is going in fan side down. There's nice vent covers on the bottom of the case with nice mesh grills that can be taken off for regular dusting, cleaning, washing, whatever you do with your grills. I usually give mine a hose and leave them to dry out in the sun or on a radiator overnight, and next day just put them back in. That's it. That's the PSU ready to go in. I put some cables on already that I'm going to be using. I will be putting some more on for SSD drives and mechanical drive and a Molex. So slide her in from the back. Fits lovely. All nice and tight and secure. There she goes. So, plenty of room down in the bottom here for cable management, and a little bit at the side of the PSU here, just up in there. That's where I'm going to go and connect that Molex through up into there. I have to push it down into there, connect it up through here. So it just keeps everything neat and tidy. That's it. So we'll get some of these braided cables installed now and go from there. Here we are. We've got some of the cable extensions in, 24 pin, 8 pin EPS and the 8 pin GPU. We will route this one up nicely to the CPU. And 24 pins in, all the cables are all connected up now. So all we got to do is adjust the GPU bracket, all the bottom I/O ports, USB, front headers, all connected up. I'll show you the cable management at the back. Oh, before we go around, the LED strip is all fitted in. Well, that's everything all assembled and plugged in the keyboard and mouse, and we'll give her a fire up and let's see where it goes. Nothing's set in the BIOS yet for it, so the fans probably might go full speed. Don't know yet, but we'll give it a go. Connected up by display port. Yeah, fans are on full speed and there she goes into the BIOS. Well, there we go, it's all running. It's gone into the BIOS, no problem at all. And oh, I've got a visitor. Hello, you coming up? Oh, This is my little 3-year-old. Say hi. I'm gonna wave. Yay. Take Bluey out, you know. All fired up. Everything's running stock, and fans are a bit loud. The Deepcool Captain's actually got a pulsating light on the CPU block, which is matching the Asus Strix pulsating on there as well. So it's all up and running. Thank you very much, and I plan on doing many more builds and many more recordings, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did doing it. Bit of a learning curve for me, so thanks again, and that's it. I'm gonna say bye. Bye. Wave bye.
Bye.
Wave.
Wave.
Good girl.